Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
You can't harass anybody, whether it's a police officer or a citizen. You can't just randomly start harassing somebody. That's a crime.
Debate rages on whether social media is a positive or a negative impact on our society. Some people use it as a way to share ideas, connect with friends and family, and debate news of the day. Others harass and bully with racist, obscene, or even threatening language. That's what happened recently to a West Fargo police officer. Valley News Team's Joshua Peguero explores how social media trolling can have real-world consequences.
Interim West Fargo Police Chief Jerry Boyer says often people on social media are quick to judge.
Very corrosive for everybody.
On June 6, a short video circulated on Facebook of his officers dealing with a citizen. Without context, people began bashing police.
People were taking things and twisting it into Second Amendment issues and other things, and that just wasn't the case.
Boyer says an officer's phone number and home address was shared online.
That officer who was misidentified actually did receive threatening text messages, and it wasn't warranted. Officers receive threats very often in the course of their work.
An NDSU professor says social media companies aren't upfront about their policies.
If companies aren't careful with how they enable or regulate speech online, then there's always the concern that the government will start to look into these spaces.
Freedom of speech also does not apply online.
The First Amendment arguments don't work on online platforms because these are private spaces.
We got different stories from people across the community about social media harassment and what it looks like. Some have received racist comments, others it's just plain threats.
I know genuine people that are accepting of us here, but when you go online and you see that kind of stuff, it makes you question, how accepted we really are in this community.
Organizers of several Fargo rallies say the messages they get and comments on news sites are hurtful.
To see and read those comments were just, I was in tears. I was in tears.
Some of them said just burn them all.
Some of that harassment has led to physical threats, which can lead to charges. In Fargo, Joshua Peguero, Valley News Live.
At a recent rally, the Group 1 Fargo reminded local media outlets of their role in keeping cyberspace friendly and clean. Valley News Live Vice President and General Manager Ike Walker says that threats and hate have no place on our social media sites, and the station works to remove posts and users that violate policies. The weekend has arrived and the weather appears to be our ally. If it's not sunshine, it might be a cloud or two. Let's find out about tonight's conditions from First Alert Storm Team meteorologist Nathan Hopper. Nathan?
Yeah, Mike, happy Friday to you and to everybody. Thanks for joining us here on this Friday evening. Plenty of sunshine, as Mike was alluding to, and just a few of those popcorn clouds right now on our Luther Family Ford Skycam. Plenty of sunshine there beaming off of those vehicles, and I do expect sunglasses to be the rule of order that you need if you are traveling out and about anywhere across the valley on this Friday evening. Temperatures are a little cooler in Minnesota. Some morning clouds did help keep those temperatures from warming up as fast, and thus they are not as warm in Minnesota, those upper 70s there, but we're seeing those upper 80s in our southern and western neighborhoods. 84 right now in Fargo, 83 in Grand Forks. The satellite and radar is crystal clear, just like we saw on that Luther Family Ford Skycam, and we can expect conditions to stay fairly pleasant for us as we go through this evening. Any breeze that's around will subside as we go toward that 10 o'clock hour, and skies will stay clear. So with those clear skies and calm winds, perhaps a good bonfire night out there. Temperatures into those 60s by the midnight hour. In Grand Forks, also expecting those clear skies and a little bit cooler there, though, seeing those 60s there as well. But Mike, things are looking good for the weekend. We do have the chance of some isolated rain on Sunday, but we'll break all that down coming up in a couple minutes.
All right, we'll look forward to that. A driver was ticketed today after running into the wall at Beyond Running in West Fargo. It happened around 12:30. There were no injuries, but the owners of Beyond Running expect repairs to be in the thousands. They described it as just another hit during an already trying time. Two men were arrested by the SWAT team as part of a drug investigation. The pair were taken into custody at a residence in the 200 block of 24th Street South in Fargo. 32-year-old Michael Fode Kimba of Fargo was arrested on an open warrant through Clay County for assault. And 32-year-old Daniel Pape Kei, also of Fargo, was arrested for providing false info to law enforcement and for failure to appear. Health experts say heavy and difficult breathing are complaints they often hear from patients when it comes to wearing masks. But the experts from Sanford and Essentia Health promise that's not the case. Our reporter tested it out today, having her oxygen and pulse checked, both with and without a mask, to find the levels and whether they stayed almost exactly the same in both scenarios.
When our body feels like we can't breathe, our brain tells us to breathe faster, and as a result, the perception is that you're not able to breathe.
The experts suggest to take mask breaks outside, chew gum, or wear scented lip balm to help distract from your breathing. North Dakota is reporting 29 new positive COVID-19 cases today. 10 of those are in Cass County. Over 4,000 tests were conducted. Nearly 1,500 of those were unique individuals, and the state just crossed 100,000 people being tested. There are 253 active cases in the state. The death toll linked to the virus remains at 78. Minnesota is reporting 498 new COVID-19 positive cases and 5 new deaths. The death toll in the state now stands at 1,411. There are 3,197 active cases in the state. Hospitalizations have remained about the same over the last 10 days, but they are still down from the peak at the end of May. The White House Coronavirus Task Force is urging more young people to get tested, and they also reaffirmed the safety guidelines laid out months ago. The group held a briefing this afternoon to address the spiking number of cases in some states. Doctors say more therapeutics are on the way and clinical trials are ongoing.
I think what we're missing in this is something that we've never faced before, is that a risk for you is not just isolated to you. Because if you get infected, you are part, innocently or inadvertently, of propagating the dynamic process of a pandemic.
Vice President Mike Pence says he will be traveling on Sunday to Texas, and then on Tuesday, he's going to Arizona. He will be in Florida by himself on Thursday of next week to get a ground report. Minnesotans whose new license plate tabs have been held up by delays due to the COVID-19 pandemic will now be getting a verification letter as proof of registration renewal. The state says that there are processing delays for residents who already mailed in their renewal but have not gotten the stickers back. The agency in charge says that they have notified law enforcement some drivers will not have their new stickers when the tabs expire. There are about 7,700 mailed-in renewals needing to be processed, and they date back to May 11th. The director says while staff was working from home, they didn't have access to the mailed-in requests. Anyone who mailed in their registration renewal more than 2 weeks ago and hasn't gotten their tabs should go online to get a verification letter. That letter will expire August 31st. All delayed tabs are expected to be mailed out within 4 to 6 weeks. A significant number of unemployment insurance fraud has made its way to North Dakota. The Attorney General's office tells us that they've had more than 100 victims of identity theft. What happens is a fraudster files for unemployment using their name while they're still remaining to be employed. The agency believes the information came from data breaches and found on the dark web. There has been a surge in people filing for unemployment across the country as the coronavirus pandemic caused millions to lose jobs and apply for benefits. West Fargo has narrowed its list of police chief candidates to 2. One of the 2 is interim chief Jerry Boyer, who has 20 years in law enforcement and has served with the West Fargo PD for 15 years. The other is Montana State University Billings chief of police and emergency management director Dennis Otterness. He has close to 30 years in law enforcement, including serving as the deputy chief in Bloomington, Minnesota. The final interviews will be held on July 8th. Following that, a final recommendation will be made to the West Fargo City Commission. An outdoor fire can be a great place to gather and enjoy the evening hours. Later on Valley News Live at 6, how dangerous fire pits can be if you're not careful.
And if you plan on spending any time on the patio tomorrow, here's how things are shaping up in that patio planner. Plenty of that sunshine for our Saturday and warm temperatures for Saturday as well. We'll get you set up for the weekend next.